Glass is everywhere around us, yet it's one of the materials we rarely stop to think about. It's in our windows, our bottles, in the screens we touch hundreds of times a day, and even in the vehicles we travel in. But behind this familiar transparency lies a story that begins with something as humble as sand. And not just any sand, grains so pure and so carefully processed that they undergo a dramatic transformation inside some of the most advanced industrial facilities on the planet. Today, we're taking a deeper journey than before. We'll uncover each stage of glass production, from geological deposits millions of years old, to the complex chemistry inside industrial furnaces, to the precision robotics that shape, cool, inspect, and transport millions of glass products every single day. This is the complete story of how invisible grains of silica become one of the most important materials of modern civilization. Long before glass factories, automated robots, and 1,000 to 600-degree furnaces existed, humans discovered glass completely by accident. Archaeologists believe that the earliest forms of man-made glass appeared over 4,000 years ago in Mesopotamia and ancient Egypt. But natural glass existed long before humanity. Volcanic obsidian, formed by rapidly cooled lava, was used as cutting tools for millennia. Around 3,000 years ago, ancient artisans learned that heating sand mixed with plant ash or minerals produced a glossy, translucent substance. Early glass beads in small containers were created using basic furnaces that barely reached 900 degrees, barely enough for the silica to soften. Over centuries, the techniques improved. The Romans discovered glass blowing, transforming glass from a luxury item into a material accessible across their empire. And from that moment on, glass steadily became part of daily life. Windows, vessels, lenses, until modern science unlocked its full potential. Today, glass is found in fiber optic networks, telescopes, smartphones, solar panels, and high-precision laboratory equipment. Yet its basic ingredients remain the same as they were thousands of years ago. Glass production begins with one of Earth's most common materials, silica, but only a very specific type of sand qualifies. Manufacturers require silica content above 98 to 99%. This level of purity cannot be found on beaches or desert dunes. It comes from ancient sandstone deposits formed millions of years ago. These deposits are mined in massive open-pit operations. Explosives break apart dense geological layers. Heavy excavators load the shattered rock into trucks capable of carrying tens of tons at a time. At this stage, the material is still far from usable. It is transported to a crushing facility where industrial mills reduce the rock into fine grains. But even then, the sand is still too contaminated with iron particles, clay, and organic matter. Purity is everything. Even tiny impurities can cause discoloration, bubbles, or structural defects in the final glass. The freshly crushed sand enters a sophisticated purification line. It begins with screening. Vibrating sieves eliminate oversized particles. A typical industrial screen might use a 30-mesh grid, 30 holes per inch, to ensure uniform grain size. Next comes high-pressure washing. Jets of water blast the sand, removing microscopic dust and clay. The mixture flows into agitation tanks where the grains are suspended and constantly stirred, allowing lighter contaminants to separate. Then one of the most important stages, spiral separators. As the slurry moves downward through a spiral chute, centrifugal forces push heavy minerals outward while lighter silica stays near the center. Further along, magnetic separators remove trace amounts of iron that could tint the glass green or brown. Finally, the purified sand is dried, filtered again, and stored in industrial-grade bulk bags weighing up to 1 metric ton each. Every week, thousands of tons of this purified silica arrive at one of the largest glass manufacturing plants in the United States. These facilities operate 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Shutting down a glass furnace is costly and technically complex, so production is continuous. Along with silica, two other minerals play essential roles. Sodium carbonate, which lowers the melting point of silica calcium carbonate, which improves durability and chemical resistance. In certain production lines, metal oxides are added to create colored glass, cobalt for blue, chromium for green, selenium for red. All these materials, collectively called batch, must be mixed with perfect consistency. A poorly mixed batch could lead to defects that appear only once the glass is cooled. The raw ingredients travel through enclosed conveyor belts to massive mixing drums. Industrial stirrers rotate at high speed, ensuring each grain of sand is coated and evenly distributed among the additives. The mixture is constantly monitored by sensors that check moisture, particle size, and flow rate. Some factories incorporate cullet, crushed recycled glass, into the batch. Adding cullet reduces energy consumption because recycled glass melts at a lower temperature than raw silica. Some facilities use up to 70% cullet in their recipes, dramatically lowering their environmental footprint. The mixed batch is fed into the heart of the factory, the melting furnace. These furnaces are engineering marvels, giant chambers lined with refractory materials designed to withstand temperatures above 1,600 degrees Celsius. Inside, the batch slowly melts over 24 hours. Sand grains soften, collapse, and merge into a glowing, honey-like liquid. Impurities rise and are skimmed off. Bubbles escape during a stage called fining. To maintain stable temperatures, the furnace is equipped with dozens of burners and sensors. Technicians monitor oxygen levels, viscosity, and thermal profiles to keep the molten glass perfectly consistent. At the base of the furnace, a shimmering river of liquid glass flows toward the forming machines. The molten glass is cut into glowing gobs by rotating shears. Each gob is carefully weighed to match the exact size of the bottle to be formed. A gob falls into a blank mold, and compressed air blows it into a hollow preform called a parison. Robots transfer the parison into the final mold. A second burst of air expands the glass, forcing it into every contour of the mold cavity. The process happens so fast, mere seconds, that you can see hundreds of bottles forming every minute. This method, known as blow and blow, or press and blow, depending on the shape, is the global standard for manufacturing beverage bottles, food containers, and pharmaceutical jars. Each mold is meticulously cooled and maintained. Any irregularity can create a weak spot in the glass, risking dangerous shattering later in its life. Freshly formed bottles are extremely fragile because of internal stress created during shaping. To relieve this stress, they move through a long tunnel called an annealing layer. Over several minutes, the temperature gradually decreases from hundreds of degrees Celsius down to ambient temperature. Without annealing, the glass would crack or explode under the slightest pressure. Properly annealed glass is stronger, safer, and far more reliable. Once cooled, the bottles enter the inspection line. High-speed cameras and laser sensors scan every millimeter of the surface. Algorithms detect bubbles, cracks, asymmetry, wall thickness variations, and neck defects. Bottles that fail even a single parameter are instantly rejected and recycled. Quality control in the glass industry is among the strictest in the world because defects can pose safety risks, especially in pressurized beverage bottles or pharmaceutical containers. Approved bottles travel to the palletizing zone. Robotic arms equipped with suction systems lift dozens of bottles at once and arrange them in neat rows. Between each layer, protective sheets prevent shock damage. The pallets are wrapped, labeled, and loaded for transport. While bottles are made through blowing, flat glass, used for windows, furniture, solar panels, and architectural facades, is made using a completely different technique, the float process. Invented in the 1950s, it remains the gold standard today. In this method, molten glass flows onto a bath of molten tin. Because glass is less dense, it floats and spreads into a perfectly flat sheet. As it moves forward, precisely controlled temperatures cool the sheet until it solidifies. The result is flawless, distortion-free glass. Robotic cutters equipped with diamond wheels or lasers slice the continuous ribbon of solidified glass into panels of precise dimensions. The edges are then polished to remove sharp microfractures. Some panels undergo impact testing. If they break into small, blunt pieces rather than sharp shards, they are considered safety glass. One of glass's greatest advantages is its recyclability. Unlike plastics or metals that degrade over time, glass can be melted and reformed endlessly without losing purity. Many factories operate closed-loop systems where defective products and leftover cullet are automatically reintegrated into production. Recycling glass saves energy, reduces emissions, and ensures that the bottle or window you use today may return in a completely new form in just a few months.